and it came from, you know, I was out in California after I had, you know, escaped Florida, and much older than I was when I was a child, or even a teenager, or when I went into, you know, my first years of college, where, you know, my ego kind of got the best of me. I was like one of very few to get out of my hometown and actually move forward, seemingly, and pursue what I wanted to do. And I was confused by the fact that a lot of the other people I knew weren't doing the same thing or something like it. And so, you know, when I went out to California, I thought, how am I going to feel now, you know, coming back for Christmas vacation? And so that's where the impetus for the story came from. And also my own conflicts with being, you know, a filmmaker and, you know, not having a palpability to what I do, right? I go off of like what people say, is it good, is it bad, did it make you feel something, you know, but I don't have a direct sense of accomplishment as much as like a doctor does, who fixes a guy's heart and like, hey, you're good, you know, go live. You know, so it's kind of a struggle, you know, and that's what's in the film. You'll see is Monty struggling with that concept of his career and what he wants to do.
Something that you brought up was the improvisation and kind of working in a way, not to stray from the script, but to find the truth in what's in the script, the history of it.
That was, sorry, not to interrupt, just interject. That was a big thing, you know. Brandon said, how much room do I have? And I told them there's only one thing in this movie that I need you to be deliberate on. Every word has to be exact. And lo and behold, that was the one he was most freaked out about, right? He knew he had to get it right. And I tried to keep him calm as much as possible. We rehearsed it right before he did it. We went on.
It was actually my audition piece too. It was what we had to do before the audition as well. So it was, I knew it was important before I even got on set. So
I kept, you know, I kind of kept him. I kept the takes down for as many as we did that only two. You know, I made sure that he was comfortable with that. But everything else, it's exactly what I said to him. Like, look, I'm tied to the script. Obviously, I wrote it. But at the end of the day, it's about finding the truth. It's about finding, like, if you saying it a different way, or rephrasing it, or finding a different thing to say here, still gets at the same idea, that line, and that's fine, you know.
But that's a trust that we built with each other too. You know, he trusted me when I got on set because I, you know, a long plane ride from New York, and I did a bunch of notes and typed a bunch of stuff up about the character, just my own ideas, not even ever talking to him. And as soon as I laid it down, he was just like, yeah. Everything you're saying is things that I've thought about in the past, maybe not written it into the script, but those are all things I built in my own head as well. And so he had an understanding of, I knew the character and there were a couple of times where like I would do something that didn't match, and maybe our cinematographer was like, that's not what we said. And I was like, yeah, but Monty would do that, you know, or, you know, he wouldn't sit in this scenario, or he would do this. And, you know, we all looked at each other for a second, and then it was like, yeah, that's right, that's what he would do. And, you know, it was cool even to watch today, because I hadn't seen the movie before today, so today was the first time I saw the film, and it was funny to see what improv stuff stayed in there, and little lines and things that stayed in, even not just from me, but other characters who knew their character very well and inside and out. So.
You know, that's interesting because, I mean, you as the writer-director, I mean, this is very personal to you. So when you give this to a company of actors, I guess there might be a danger of being too precious with it, and yet you want to protect it. Tell me about that process of watching them give it life and having that deepen the material for you.
Well, I mean, like the wonderful thing is like about film is it's a collaborative process, you know, and I think there's a lot of people, there's some directors who go out there and act like tyrants and everything's going to be a certain way. And, you know, even as great as, you know, the movies are, I'll say, like, you know, a lot of Stanley Kubrick's films come off very cold, very impersonal. And I think a lot of that has to do with how deliberate everything is and how he has to have things a certain way. And I don't think that Stanley Kubrick was ever against the idea of collaboration, for instance, but I think there are a lot of filmmakers leaving out Kubrick, for instance, that kind of don't give enough credence to the fact that, like, once you're done with the script, you're not done writing the movie. We were literally rewriting, like on set, rewriting when we had a scene that we had to adjust because of Florida weather. We were rewriting while we were producing the film. Our editor rewrote the film, you know, so you go through these processes, and I mean, that was exactly when I was the first person to edit it, because we had one of our editors ended up having to drop out because of family issues, and then I had to pick up the film myself, and so it's this 2-hour, you know, long thing, and I'm like, you know, I don't know what else to cut out, because, like, there is this, like, it's not about being precious. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, I have to keep that. But in your mind, you're like, oh, yeah, I wrote this. This is how it goes, you know? Then you hand it to the editor, and I forget, you know? I forget what was in there, because he's done a great job of not necessarily hiding it, but moving the story along. you know, getting rid of the excess. And I mean, both him and another buddy of mine who's close to me, who I let see my work and kind of like go back and forth on a workshop partner. He was like, they both were like, yeah, dude, you overwrote this, and that's not bad. You know, it's good. Like it helps that we.
And we shot all of it too. I mean, we have all that footage.
Yeah.
We shot everything that we wanted to shoot in the days we wanted to shoot it, under budget and everything. And it was awesome to see what the editor came up with at the end of the day too. I mean, and what stayed in and what didn't, because he's objective at the end of the day. I mean, I was the same thing. Some of the scenes I thought were extremely important when we shot them, and were some of the hardest shots that we had to get. Didn't make it into the movie, and I was like, we killed ourselves for that take. Like, are you kidding me? That was a full day of shooting for that one scene. I'm like, that had to have been in there. And to see them cut out, but now when I watch it, I'm like, it makes sense. You know, it makes sense. It moves the story along now. You know, when you, like you said, you forget some of the things that were in there too. Some of the scenes that we enjoyed when we watched back at the end of the day, maybe we're like, it is okay that that's not in there. Yeah, we had fun. That was for us, but
and the audience doesn't care if it was a difficult day.
Yeah, no, they really don't care at all.
They won't know either way.